This is absolutely Essendon. It's week 3 of the finals, and we're trying to stay interested as Bomber fans. We're a little bit interested. There's a bit that's been going on, so we thought we'd check in and see what we have to contribute. DT, that kiss of death, gee whiz. Wouldn't want to be selling it. Wouldn't want to be bottling it.
No. Well, I mean, we're still alive in the kiss of death. As some might remember, we laid the curse on the Carlton Football Club, and they've won their first 2 games. But
we have carried them. We've carried them 2 steps closer to the promised land.
So far we've probably been more valuable for them than Adam Sard off the half-back flank.
That's right. Then Kerner.
But the beauty of the curse, of course, is that they'll be 5 points up with a minute to go on the grand final day, and a Joey Danaher bomb. Actually, they won't be playing each other on the grand final, will they?
No, there's no chance. No, because they head next to the Gabbatoir.
That's the one. Which, by the way, either you're in Ibiza with the Essendon Football Club or somewhere on the Gold Coast. Am I right in making that assumption?
I wasn't going to say, but I got invited to become ensconced in the end of season trip, so I had to just step away. In fact, I don't even have that long for this video. I'll be back in a sec, boys. Sorry, I've just got to do this shit.
They didn't want to bring me along, or is it just you?
Well, it was only just one person from one Essendon YouTube fan channel, unfortunately.
And you got the nod.
Budget constraints, yeah. So mate, you're not missing much.
Look, I would have thought so. You'd just be sitting. Matt Guelphy just be pounding out things from his IG account from somewhere on the sunny coast there on the Mediterranean, right?
He might, yeah. Look, God, there's 2 Metre Peter trying to start a Congo line. He's just a rascal. Nick Martin's walking around with a tray of vodka shots.
Like, I tell you, is there a more professional off-season side than the Bombers? They are dead set, dedicated to the cause. And doing 20 shots a day. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that, does it?
We're only sizing, mate. They're probably in Yarrawonga, mate, as punishment. We don't really know.
While you've been away over there in Ibiza, we hit the 1,000 mark.
Oh yes. Big thank you to everybody that subscribed to help us get us over the line. We are genuinely humbled because we thought we'd be lucky to get 20 people that wanted to put up with our ramblings and drivel seriously. So thank you. And DT, I'm surprised you're not smoking a cigar, as an accoutrement of success.
Well, I just had a look at the YouTube account to see all of that sweet coin coming through. And we're 22 cents up at the moment. So it's might be a little longer for the Havanas. But it'll get there. Patience is a virtue. All right.
I don't know what you were imagining. I don't know what things people had put in your head about a change in lifestyle. I just for the moment. Save the trips to the bank manager.
But anyway, 1,000 well done to you, well done to us, and thank you as well to everybody who's jumped on board for this crazy journey. And we're only just starting. We're a little rough around the edges. We're moving into the big new studio next season, and we're probably just going to put a new fake brick wall on the back. But
it'll be a bigger brick wall.
Yeah. So anyway, let's talk a bit about football. We're in the finals. And it's been an absolute rollicking final series so far. Of course, the Bombers are not there, but we can still enjoy the quality of football being played by the teams that are. How do you see it so far?
We can only just enjoy the memes that get sent around this time of the year about the number of days at Essendon. I saw the one that you sent me this morning there with that.
The archaeological find.
Yes, that's right. Maybe we can share that up on this, but
well, we could. But listen, we've been running a poll on our X account, our Twitter account, to test the waters amongst our faithful in terms of who they see being the victors on the weekend in the 2 big preliminary finals. And very interestingly, let me give you the result. The poll's still running, so this is not absolutely up to the minute. But last time I looked, 88% of our Twitter followers have nominated Brisbane to win over Carlton.
Really?
Would probably be a reasonable assessment. But interestingly, 67% have said GWS are favoured to beat the Pies at the MCG.
That's interesting. Is that astute football knowledge, or is that just bitter Essendon supporters voting?
Yeah.
To get the Pies beaten?
I think the latter. I think the latter. I've been pretty much, being lectured to by our supporters over the last few days regarding a certain Matt Guelphy tweet that we made. But seriously, are they any better? When they're trying to will Collingwood and Carlton out of the game, are we just taking it a little too serious, guys? But anyway, there you have it. So the results are very much in favour of the two interstate sides or non-Victorian sides, but we shall see. We shall see. Now, I just want to talk to you a little bit about what's an old news story, but we haven't spoken for a while. The Braden Maynard incident. What's your take on
that? Look, I was disappointed that didn't get more media coverage. Weren't you? I just felt like, the 1 hour news bulletin, it spent a whole 90 seconds on the Ukraine-Russia war, and just stepped away from the whole slow-mo of the bump and the lawyers and the biomechanics and all the assessment. Like, geez, didn't people go to town on that? I mean,
look, it's been a more analysed 20 seconds of video footage than the Zapruder film.
Zapruder film, yes,
right?
Yes.
I mean, I'm not trying to be funny. It has, the angle of the deflection of his shoulder off Angus Brayshaw's chin was like the third shot from the sniper's nest in Dealey Plaza.
That's right.
It really has been incredibly analysed. But I tell you, the real story is not what happened on the field. It's what happened after the incident itself. I think the next day. And young Braden Maynard made his way over to Angus Brayshaw's house with a bunch of flowers and a bottle of cognac, or maybe it was Southern Comfort, I'm not sure. It could have even been a bottle of red, I don't know, but there was alcohol involved. And popped over to sort of pass on his apologies and say, sorry, I've wrecked your football career and knocked your head from here to kingdom come.
Yeah.
Didn't go down well.
No. Apparently it was awkward central. I heard that one of the because there were Melbourne players there. He wasn't just sitting there on his own. Angus Brayshaw. There were other Melbourne players there, and one of them had to step out of the room.
What?
So it was so tense.
He took one for the team, did he? He just thought, I can't take this. I'm out. I'll be out the back near the barbecue.
Yeah, this is bullshit. I think he did one of those.
Do we know who that was?
No, I don't. But if I'm
guessing it might have been Clayton Oliver.
You think?
Yeah, he strikes me as that kind of guy.
The fiery red hair.
Yeah, he probably can't swallow that one, and just he was going to swing a few punches towards Maynard. Thought, look, given that Angus's girlfriend was in the room, she got the flowers. And Mum was out in the kitchen putting some little Savoys together for an afternoon snack. He probably just thought, best I remove myself in case something went down.
Or maybe it was Stephen May. He likes to swing a punch, doesn't he, in a social gathering?
Yeah, but I mean, I don't think Jake Malksham was in the room. So, yeah. But there you go. So, I mean, that was probably the awkward moment of the year award. I don't know if there's a name for that. Is there a trophy or a medal that he gets for that?
It sets a nasty precedent because, I mean, he even rang the mum, like, seriously.
Yeah. Read the room.
Yeah. I mean, what do you do if you give someone an ACL? Go around with a bucket of KFC?
Yeah. Oh, sorry, you're never going to walk again, but this should compensate. The zinger burger. Yeah. Look, I think his intent was good, but you know what they say about well-meaning people.
Yeah.
Best to just let things take, thoughts and prayers at this time. Let's not get into anything more than that.
He was trying to be classy, but I don't know.
They don't have that down at Collingwood, do they? Yeah. All right. Well, there you go. So that was
that was it.
We covered that. Now, look, finals aside, let's talk about the Bombers because, you're over there in Ibiza with the boys. Any word about trades or anything? Are you hearing any little rumours from amongst the lads there over the?
The Zerk, who's over here, and can I just say, with that Errol Flynn moustache, bit of a ladies' man, bit of a man for the ladies.
Right. Well, I'm not surprised. I mean, he is a damn good-looking young lad, and Melbourne's nightclub's loss is no doubt Adelaide's boozy beer barn's gain, right?
Yeah, but it is seriously, isn't it just so funny now how that's just such big news? I mean, the Zerk, he's, when he started, I think we all had our doubts, and let's face it, second half of this year, many supporters still had their doubts.
Yeah.
Some are sort of, some are saying, don't let the door hit you on the way out. Yeah. Others are saying, we really should try and hang on to him. But
he's gone.
Where do you land on that? He just wants to go home. He wants to go and hang around with the Orazio.
I like the kid, right? You know that. I think our viewers know that. I like the kid. But honestly speaking, I think he was rated the third worst one-on-one defender in the AFL to have played more than 20 games during the 2023 season.
Who are the other two, just out of interest?
Jaden Laverde and Dyson Heppel. So, no, they weren't. No, just kidding. But they might have been. But, Tom Hawkins might have a say on that as well. But the thing is, as much as I like BZT, I don't think he's going to be the loss that some people are imagining. He's just caught in no man's land regarding his size. He's not really big enough to take on the monster forwards, and he's a little bit too big to be taking on the medium small forwards. So, if we get Ben Mackay in, and we'll talk about that, then I think, to be honest, Brandon Zerk-Thatcher is probably the first guy out of the team. Mackay is an upgrade on Zerk-Thatcher, and of course Ridley will come back from his injury late in the year to be a permanent presence. And I think, to be fair, we're still hoping that Zach Reid and young Lewis Hayes, 2 metre tall guys, can come on and become central to the defence going forward. So I've really liked watching Zerk-Thatcher's growth over the last year and a bit.
Yes, it has been good.
Yeah, he's been a real bright spark amongst an otherwise pretty miserable year. But yes. I don't think he's going to be a catastrophic loss to the squad.
Okay, so given all that, how cheeky can we be at the trade table in terms of what we ask for?
Yeah, well, I guess it comes down to how well Adrian presents, and I think he's had his power undermined a little bit this year, and I think the other recruiters from other clubs know that he's kind of dead man walking. Let's hope he is. And, they're going to probably call him out on that when he starts showing a little posture over the negotiating table. They're going to say, hey, can we speak to who's in charge? Because we understand you're not going to be around, you know. Yeah. So
where's the sales manager? We want to speak to them.
Yeah, who's the boss here? You're on the way out. Yeah, so I don't think we're going to have a lot of bite at the trade table this year. We really don't have a lot on offer anyway. But I think
that's not great. That's not good.
No,
don't we need more this year?
Yeah, well, look, I think we'll go for Mackay. Obviously, they've made an offer to him. I think Todd Goldstein's name's being bandied around as a future thank you for your service Andrew Phillips replacement. And
so is that the deal? The grinning ruckman. Is that true?
The grinning ruckman. Oh, okay.
He's always, don't you find he's always grinning? I don't know what he's grinning
got
about.
Some problem, facial issue. I don't know. Maybe. No, I don't know. I've not noticed that, but clearly you have.
Yeah, I do.
Right.
I noticed that. All right, so is that really
and also on that point, Jade Gresham is being a name being tossed around as a possible free agent that we can pick up. So all these guys won't cost us anything other than their salaries. And
really? Jade Gresham won't cost us much.
Really? He's a free agent, so he can walk out of the club unless St Kilda match the offer that's put on the table by the other football club. But
I don't mind the thought of him.
No, I don't think he would be a bad pickup at all. Yeah, he's probably a little one-dimensional and tends to go missing in periods of games. So he should be.
Yeah, but hang on. You're missing that he's got tattoos.
Has he?
Hasn't he?
Up goes his salary if he has. We desperately need players with tattoos.
We do. Just 4 or 5 in the mix.
Yeah. So there's a bit to look forward to. Of course, and we failed to mention this at the beginning of the video, which we said we would.
Yes.
We have an exciting announcement to make. We will be doing a collaboration video or 2 with the absolutely amazing Everything Essendon. And I'm sure so many of the people who watch our channel are also very familiar with Everything Essendon, the definitive go-to for all things Essendon. If what we do doesn't float your boat, and it doesn't for a lot of people, to be fair.
No, it does not. It absolutely does not. Yeah, so I'm excited about what he'll bring to our format. You know, things like facts, information,
common sense, intelligence,
rationale,
absolutely genuine understanding of how the game's played.
So that is exciting for us, and we are humbled that he would care to collaborate with us.
More than humbled. I am somewhat embarrassed to be in his glorious presence. And I'm hoping we just don't have horrible stage fright when we're sitting in the same recording space as wonderful Everything is.
We get to finally see him. Will we get to finally see him?
Do you think he will reveal himself to
Well, this remains to be seen. Otherwise, it'll be just the 2 of us in the studio. And
that's a good point, because he'll
pixelate his voice
and pixelate the face. I mean, you do the little
not the voice, the head.
You know, when I met that like you do for criminals. I'm not saying that he did.
Because if it all goes pear-shaped, he'll want to wash his hands of us.
Yeah, well, I'm imagining that's a file that he'll be deleting from his hard drive pretty quickly. So that's to look forward to. We'll announce more of the specific details on that, but we're looking at really a big coverage of the trade period and perhaps the draft as well later in the year with Everything Essendon, and we are going to become like a mega channel. It's like like Fox or something like that, right?
It will be Sponsorship Central. Stay tuned. On that note, should we talk about the Best and Fairest awards in the VFL? Because I thought they were interesting.
Yeah, well, that's just come out over the last few days, I think. And our man, Paddy Voss.
It was a name that probably came up 60 times throughout our first season of this show. Patrick Voss winning the Best and Fairest. And yet was the best that he achieved this year from a seniors perspective being named sub once. Was that it?
Did he get named a sub? I don't even think he got named a sub.
Emergency?
Might have been an emergency, yeah. I think he was an emergency.
Right.
Which is, I don't know, I think that's an insult, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
You're being told up, we're just doing that so that you stay interested, but we're not going to pick you. Yeah, look, I don't think anyone pushed his barrow as much as we did throughout the year. And I'm glad to say that our support of Paddy Voss, our hopes for him have now been vindicated. He was the best and fairest in our VFL side. Now, I know the VFL side's pretty junk.
And
a few people have said, big deal, he's won the VFL best and fairest, Okay, so Bob Skilton won 3 Brownlow medals playing for a pretty useless South Melbourne side as well. Are we going to say he wasn't good? He's one of the greats. So, Paddy Voss could be argued that he did even better being the top goal scorer and the best and fairest for our VFL side, given how poor that team was. I wouldn't want to be a forward in that side. He did pretty well, I think, given how badly that side performed throughout the year.
Because you're saying you don't get many opportunities.
Absolutely. As a forward, you're being starved of opportunity. And he managed to do as much as he could. Now, I know he's got a little development in him left. He's still got to grow in terms of his craft, his forward craft, but I still believe he can be a valuable player for us going forward. And let's hope we see him make a debut in 2024.
Right, I would agree with that. The runner-up.
Yeah, so what's your reward for being the runner-up in the best and fairest? Out the door. Rhett Montgomery. I'm stunned by this, and I was stunned when it was announced that he'd been delisted. I watched a few VFL games. I thought he looked pretty capable, to be honest with you, as that sort of mid-size sort of defender, really good set of hands. Was shown the door by the football club, and then comes runner-up in our best and fairest for the VFL side.
Surplus to our needs. We've got enough of those.
Oh, because we're doing so well, right? We're doing so well. But anyway, look, I'm sorry he's gone. Good luck to Rhett and to all the other boys that are leaving the club. Yes. Hope they can find a future playing the game somewhere, wherever that may be.
Yes. All right.
Now, if I can just tee off the next point on the agenda.
Sure, mate.
A little bit about the AFLW. I know that you are a huge fan of ladies beach volleyball. And I'm sure you follow the ladies football, the Australian football as closely. How are they going? How are they tracking?
Why are you trying to? They've won. They just lost against Adelaide, but I think they won. Did they win 2 games? First 2?
They did. They've won the two of the first 3 games. Yeah, you're quite right.
Okay.
I know it's a little hard getting news from the south up there and wherever you are in the tropical north. But yeah, they won their first 2 games and got a bit of a smacking from the Crows.
Did they?
But otherwise, I think they're showing that they can be, genuine,
quite competitive. Yeah,
quite competitive, exactly. And also on that, I need to make an apology regarding the pronunciation of one of the ladies' names, who I mentioned in a previous video that we did, and it was quickly brought to task over it by the viewers. Now, it's in regards to Georgie, and now I still can't even say it. Yeah. It's pronounced Nanscorn. Okay.
Oh, is that how you say it?
Yeah, really? I'm not sure. I was saying anything but that. I think I'm still getting it wrong.
You've got a channel you're in at George Danikian. He never missed a nothing, mate. Never.
And I do apologise to Georgie, who I think I was calling Georgia. I can't remember, but either way, I got it wrong, and I just want to say I am sorry. Let's hope that I can wrap my mouth around. Let me say that again. Let me hope that I can pronounce her name and others a little more accurately in the future. So again, my apologies for that.
Yeah, no, that's all right. We're still getting our head around it. But let's hope that they continue being competitive and give us some joy over the next few months. Now, let's talk about some other footy news. The great Ron Barassi, he's left us.
Yeah, look, this is really, it's always hard to say. It's sad because, he led an incredible life and a long life and all of that. But I think there is a genuine sadness amongst the AFL community following the news of the passing of Ronald Dale Barassi a couple of days ago. And who are we to, be talking about this great man and his
nobody.
No, we're nobody. But I think that's the point, though, is that the aura that he has created and the legacy that he leaves is so immense that even a humble YouTube, video show as ours is, we feel that we can talk about him and acknowledge his career.
He certainly left some great moments.
Yeah. We're not going to be called upon to read the eulogy at the state service.
Probably not.
I don't know. If they were smart, they would ask us, but they're probably not going to. But I would be very comfortable in saying that Ron Barassi, in terms of my time following this game, I never saw him play, but I certainly saw teams that he coached. And he is the greatest name in Australian football history, in my opinion.
Yeah, well, he certainly knew how to coach, that's for sure. Certainly knew how to give a good spray as well.
Yeah. You
don't seem to see that these days. No, is anyone doing that?
God, these days, you get the P&C people onto you in a minute if you opened your mouth with a little aggression. P&C, by the way, I think they used to call it HR. people culture. But you know, we were fortunate enough to have a lovely dinner a few years ago with Shane Zantuck, you might recall.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
And Shane Zantuck, who famously fell out with Barras when he was
played for Melbourne. Played for Melbourne, yes.
And I remember Shane Zantuck was still a broken man, wasn't he? Really, I mean, one of the tough guys of football. And he was still looking over his shoulder in case the Barras was coming around the corner.
Because he got a big dressing down one day, and it kind of was for all to see, and would come up in the Barassi highlight reels, I think. And he was still recovering from that.
So I think in just wrapping up on Barassi and his legacy, there's probably the one thing that doesn't get mentioned often enough is his sartorial elegance.
Yeah,
and his dress sense, particularly during those years when he was at North Melbourne. Do you recall the fashion style?
Oh, mate, he loved the pastels. Loved his pastels. Your light blues. The
little lime, often to sort of offset that.
He had a bit of that. He very much influenced by Elvis, the Vegas years. A lot of Barry Manilow in there as well, and the moustache. I'm telling you, my dad modelled his moustache on the Barassi moustache.
Well, it should be called the Barassi, shouldn't it? That moustache style. It's not a handlebar. It's a Barras.
Yeah,
he was one decent Barras.
He was one hip dude.
And the flared trousers, you could sneak a couple of small people up those trouser legs if you wanted to. He was just all about style and grace on the football field. And I'm going to propose this. I'm not the first to have proposed this, but I'm hoping that it does get some traction. I firmly agree with the movement that the Premiership Cup should be called the Barassi Cup or the Barassi Trophy, the Ron Barassi Trophy, as a permanent and enduring, reminder of his influence on the game. What's your thoughts on that?
Leave it nameless. All right.
Nameless. All right.
No, I don't know. Why does it need a name, or is it just about
Well, I mean, it just would be. It's always the AFL Premiership Trophy, but wouldn't it be nice if it was the AFL Ron Barassi Premiership Trophy? He played in 6 winning grand finals. He coached 4 premiership teams. That's 10 premierships. Yeah. It doesn't get much better than that.
Yeah, right. Okay. All right. I'm sold. Twist my rubbery arm.
Oh, well, I'm glad you said arm. So that's about it.
Okay.
All right. I don't know if you've got anything more to report. Or just out of interest, because I know you were recently up in Queensland. What's the vibe like up there? I might
still be there.
Well, I thought Ibiza or Gold Coast. It's one of the two.
Yes.
What's the mood like up there with the rampaging lions?
Well, you walk the streets here and it's just a sea of Brisbane Lions scarves, jumpers, caps, stubby holders, especially. No, not at all. In fact, I haven't seen a single one, to be honest with you.
Really? So they're not going nuts up there. The feeling you get from the media here is that AFL is just killing it in Queensland at the moment.
Oh, really? I don't know. Look, I've seen a few Gold Coast Suns caps around here. I might need to take a drive an hour north.
Do you think could you do a Vox pop out on the street? Maybe
head out to Fortitude Valley.
Yeah, test the mood.
To Queen Street Mall.
Get one of those lovely possum shit lattes they do up there. See how that goes.
Mate, it's quality up here. Don't denigrate. Don't be disparaging.
I will never know, will I?
No. But on that note though, just as a part of the wrap up, who does the AFL want to see in the grand final? Do you think surely they're secretly going? Do they want to see a GWS Brisbane grand final? Do they care?
Well,
is that only in our imagination? Or they're just thinking, please let it be Collingwood Carlton for the love of God.
Yeah. I mean, I can't. I'm going to be honest here. I got no time for Collingwood or Carlton. But as a matchup in a grand final, it don't get much better than that. That will be a huge, huge game. Sadly for Essendon, not great for us.
No. If they both make it, it's just bad news. It's bad news either way.
One team will go past us. One team will come level with us, depending on the result.
Just because we're in a mediocre period, we should be big enough to still,
I'm not.
See, be able to watch someone else's success with just a modicum of class. But
that's so un-Essendon of you, Joe. That's what we've become great at, is celebrating other teams' success, right? In the last 20 odd years, that's what we have become experts at. But look, to answer your question, I think they would love to see, a GWS grand final appearance, even a win, because of course it's one of their children. And, a Brisbane win for the growth of the game in the North would also be very much welcomed by the AFL. I don't think there's a loser as far as AFL stakes go here. A Collingwood-Carlton grand final would be enormous. So, it's probably worked out pretty well for them in the end in terms.
Does it affect the ratings, though, if it is GWS Brisbane?
Yeah, look, it would. But, neither of those outcomes are going to get close to our Tillies, right? No one will ever match the Tillies.
True. No, you can't touch the Tillies.
The Tillies are untouchable. And our good mate, Ange Postecoglou, another win on the weekend. 2 goals in extra time to win the game. He keeps going from strength to strength since we've pumped up his tyres. So well done, Ange. And we're all top fans now, aren't we?
He is just killing it. And I saw Robbie Williams singing a song, a rendition of Love Is in the Air, dedicated to Tom De Koning. What's all that about?
I've heard about that, and we might have to follow up on that in our next video.
Okay.
I'm not sure why on earth Tom De Koning has a song about him. Yeah?
Seriously.
There must be 150 footballers ahead of him in the queue to get a Robbie Williams song.
Is it the headband Robbie's drawn to? What is it?
I don't know. I suspect that Robbie's fishing for another grand final appearance.
Yeah.
And I don't think anyone's had the nerve to tell him that Gene Simmons has gazumped him this year. So
Gene Simmons and his long tongue. Is he still sporting the very long tongue?
Ask his wife. Mate, I think we're going to have to wrap up. The satellite link's about to drop.
Yes, we are. Sorry.
Have you got Simon up there with you?
No.
So he's not there splashing the suntan oil on you and all of that?
Just moving the... no, I thought he was with you.
Mate, I don't know where he's. I think he's gone walkabout. I'm going to have a piece of that boy when we find him. Not like that. You know what I mean?
He's a stuff ass.
A dressing down. Not undressing, a dressing down.
Barassi.
You can't say anything these days without upsetting the woke, can you? It's been a pleasure.
All right. It has indeed. Thank you for checking in, and thank you for watching us yet again. We'll be back in the studio, I would imagine, next time.
I think so. I think we've got some fairly heavy studio time booked for the next couple of weeks. Of course, the big Brownlow medal show is coming up, as well as our grand final marathon, which we promised and we will have to now unfortunately do. So not
the 12-hour broadcast. How long will that take? How long will that video take to upload?
The grand final marathon?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. We'll see how we go, but it should be an absolute cracker. And then, of course, as we mentioned earlier, everything Essendon will be joining us for the
that's
trade.
The real one to look out.
And that's like Neil Diamond making a comeback. That's going to be so huge. So I don't know. Maybe he hasn't gone anywhere. Has Neil Diamond, is he still performing or is he dead? I don't know.
He's still with us, but he performs a little less.
Okay. Well, it'd be like him and Barbara Streisand coming together on stage. So we're looking forward to that.
Yes. Okay. That's what we...
As we say down here in Melbourne, arrivederci and ciao and all of that. We will see you when you're back in Melbourne, and safe travels and have a great time in the sun.
Yes. All right. Thank you very much. I'll try and bring something back for you from up here. Maybe surfboard. I know you're into your surfing.
A pair of white walking socks would be lovely.
Yeah, they've got lots of those up here.
I'm sure they have.
All right. Thanks again for watching, everyone.
See you next time.
See you soon.
Bye for now.
Yeah. Well, let's do the Zoom buy.